Hey everyone, Melanie here. I want to talk about soul contracts in today's video. This is such a unique and cool concept that I was introduced to probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it really changed my perspective and the way that I view my life experiences and my relationships with others. So soul contracts are sometimes called soul agreements or sometimes pre-birth life planning. And this is just kind of the idea that we as souls make agreements with each other before we come down to earth or any plane of existence, kind of outlining what we are going to teach each other, what we're going to learn from each other while we're here. And I think that a lot of people are maybe more familiar with soul contracts from the idea of like soulmates or twin flames. This is a very popularized way of looking at soul contracts, and we certainly have some of those, right, from maybe a romantic or partnership point of view. But I think soul contracts can apply to anyone and everyone that we interact with. So it may sound overwhelming, but I really think that we have created soul contracts with a great deal of people, not just the main group with, parents, siblings, partners, those kinds of things. Those are kind of the main group, or what I call our soul family or constellation, which I'll get to in a minute. But I really think that we have soul contracts with anyone that we interact with or come across with that changes us in some way, or shifts our perspective, or offers a teaching moment. This can be the grocery store cashier that we interact with for 4 or 5 minutes, just as much as it can be, our partner of 30 years. Obviously, those two contracts are going to be much different. This one over here is going to be much bigger, but I really do believe that we have all created these agreements to fulfill at different points in our life here on Earth School. So, coming back to this idea of soul family or constellations, like I said, a lot of people like the idea of twin flames and, that kind of thing when it comes to sexual or romantic partnerships. That's fine. That's certainly one type of soul agreement. But I think that, and I've talked to several of my other friends and colleagues about this kind of thing too, that this kind of idea that we have this small group that we kind of travel together, if you will. This is our soul family. I call it our constellation. It's just kind of this smaller group of souls that we again, we travel with, and we have maybe more in-depth or more long-lasting interactions with. These are the ones that we have maybe had past lives with and will have future lives with together. So, and it's not always who you think. There could be people in your immediate family that are part of your soul family, but they don't necessarily have to be. But these are the people that you feel some kind of unique or profound spiritual connection with. I've certainly, I think, met a handful of people in my soul family already this lifetime, and they can show up in a variety of ways. They can show up as your parents, siblings, children, lovers, partners, bosses, friends, even your pets can be part of your soul family. So I really just encourage you to think about this in maybe a more broad perspective of soul contracts with a variety of people within the soul family and outside of it, because these are all important, right? We are all here to learn, to grow, to evolve, to master certain lessons, and other people are how we do that. I don't think that any of us could really evolve very far if it weren't for our interactions with others. Especially the difficult ones. Those are the ones we learn the most from. But anyway, soul contracts, right? We have these with lots and lots and lots of different souls while we're here on Earth. And I really wish that I could tell you that like I could read all the details of your soul contract, but none of us really truly know. And one of the interesting things about soul contracts, in my opinion, is that they can be amended. There's a little bit of wiggle room here, just like we humans can amend or change legal contracts that we sign. I think there is some wiggle room with soul contracts as well. We can shift into maybe a different phase of a contract, or I see this a lot with people whose relationship they're still in a relationship with somebody, but that relationship nature has changed. So whether it's, a coworker that becomes your romantic partner, or a romantic partnership that ends and begins a friendship, or anything like that. These are just two different pieces of the contract, or shifting into another phase of the contract. And I do want to make one kind of delineation of like soul contracts versus karmic bonds. There is some overlap, but I think that it's important to talk about them differently or separately. So, soul contracts are maybe like a little less intense, right? We're not bound quite as tightly as we would in a karmic bond. So if you're paying off a karmic debt this lifetime, or have a karmic bond with somebody, it's going to be really hard to move through that or break that or change that until that debt has been paid, or that, whatever has been fulfilled in the karmic bond. And the karmic bonds can last lifetimes, many lifetimes. Soul contracts, in my opinion, are just kind of, okay, what are we going to learn this time around? So those are kind of two different or two distinctions between soul contracts and karmic bonds. And I'll wrap up by saying it's, one of, I think, the biggest challenges here of being a human is that when we arrive, when we are born, when we land here, our memories are essentially erased. I think when we're still small children, we could still access a lot of the spirit realms and that information, but as we grow up, we forget, right? We forget about past experiences or past lifetimes. We forget about soul contracts. And it's often not until later, as we're on this kind of spiritual path or awakening, a path of awakening, that we start maybe viewing our relationships or interactions with others through the lens of soul contracts. And one more thing I do want to say, you can complete a soul contract within this lifetime, for sure. It's not just like you're stuck with these people forever until you die. Like I said, you can have a soul contract with the grocery store clerk for that 1 5-minute interaction that changed your life or opened your eyes in some way, and then never interact with them again. Just like you can have a soul contract that you complete or you close with a partner or a family member or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's all I will say about it. I do have a blog about soul contracts that I will leave a link to below, just in case you want to go into a little bit more detail on it. But I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to hear your perspective on soul contracts or soul agreements, so drop me a comment below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.